the people who were supposed to have been protecting them kids other than her. I mean, you got the welfare system, you got these people who allow her to do homeschool.
Heartbreaking words from a grandmother after two parents are arrested and charged with murder and neglect.
Their 17-year-old child is dead, and CPS removed 6 other children from the home.
Morgan Moore had a natural talent for music, loved to cook, and is remembered as an all-around great person by relatives. His siblings gave him one of the most supportive and impactful gifts any relative can give to a person of transgender experience. They simply respected him as the brother he was.
I just want my brother to be remembered as the artist and the person he was. He was a good person. And I want people that are transphobic and parents that are not accepting of their children to accept their kids for who they are and love them no matter what they want to be.
One of Morgan's siblings remembers that they planned to go to Japan together, but instead Morgan became increasingly isolated. His parents kept him home and homeschooled him, and he rarely went anywhere besides the movie theater or the local playground.
Morgan's health began to deteriorate to the point where he was unable to walk, and he suffered from an abscess on his back. Morgan taught himself music and expanded on his talents.
Morgan turned 17. The last year he would be alive. What would soon come would be a heartbreaking tragedy. Police would be summoned to a grisly scene.
And we start with the big story of 5. 2 parents arrested today in connection with the death and neglect of their 17-year-old child.
Yeah, the pair also facing charges for neglecting their other 6 children ages 5 to 15 years old.
On May 10th, 2022, authorities were called to the home of Dominic and Cynthia Moore.
It's the house behind me with the bushes overgrown here on Quill Place that Montgomery County Police zeroed in on.
Inside the home, police were alerted to the body of 17-year-old Morgan Moore. Police also uncovered unsanitary living conditions.
It described animal feces throughout the home, little lighting, non-functioning toilets, and appearing to have not nearly enough beds for all of the family members. The court documents also said, according to a grandmother, it was believed that the children would only communicate with people outside of their immediate family when they were using an Xbox game console. Kids were listed as being homeschooled, and that court document said the detective investigating wasn't able to find any significant school records aside from the family being listed as compliant, and that information sent to Montgomery County Public Schools from the mother. Police said that the children had showed developmental delays and couldn't give an example of what an actual school day was like when investigators were talking with them. And when it came to immunizations, officials say that doctor appointments were either canceled, rescheduled, or no-shows, and that the kids were not up to date on needed vaccines as well.
Another example of how the system has failed. Children should be the #1 priority in America.
6 minor children were removed from the home when Morgan died.
Police call it murder. Before we get into those details, though, only on Fox 5, we spoke with a sibling of the victim. Now, we are not identifying that person because that person is also a victim in all of this. What that sibling wanted to say, though, is that their loved one is trans male. They said their brother was an artist and they want that person to be remembered. They also said that that person was their best friend who really didn't get to live a life. 40-year-old Cynthia and 45-year-old Dominique Moore are both facing second-degree murder for the death of their teenage child, among other neglect charges regarding their other children. Investigators found squalor conditions when they responded. The victim was found unconscious in a makeshift bed located in a living room, telling the judge both parents basically watched the victim slowly die. Mother claimed the kids were homeschooled and listed as compliant by MCPS, but police noted little accountability in homeschooling, including no grading system. There is no required physical check on students. The state state requires parents present a portfolio of student work no more than 3 times a year. The parent also has to agree on a local school representative reviewing the portfolio, but MCPS would not give any more information, claiming student privacy laws.
Cynthia Moore's mother would make a very shocking claim about her daughter and Dominique.
Cynthia Moore's mother tells me that both her daughter and her daughter's husband struggled with mental illness and at times participated in a bizarre death cult that had them lying at night in caskets. On the front door of the alleged House of Horrors in Montgomery Village, signs demanding privacy and calling the charges lies. Detectives say Dominique and Cynthia Moore and their 9 children were living here in almost unimaginable squalor. Animal feces littering the floor, no working toilets, no electricity, a nearly empty fridge.
It's painful, it's hurtful, and there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied, and I just want to help my child. That's all, and my grandchildren.
Police first called here after paramedics found the disabled 17-year-old, who reportedly had multiple sclerosis and diabetes, dead. Cynthia Moore allegedly told them that she had given her child apple juice and that they'd choked and collapsed. After a year-long investigation, police charged the couple with second-degree murder, alleging the teen would still be alive if they had ever taken them to the doctor. They were emaciated and just 79 pounds, unable to walk or care for themselves, having slowly wasted away for months.
It's a wanton disregard where your conduct has a substantial risk of human life.
Detectives charged the Moores with 6 counts of child neglect involving their other minor children, who range in age from 5 to 15 years old. The other 6 children now all in foster care.
What happened in the Moore home is a tragedy that should never be repeated. Morgan Moore was robbed of his future by the people who brought him into the world, by the people who were supposed to love him the most. In the end, Morgan got his justice. His parents were charged with second-degree murder and 6 counts of neglect of a minor. None of that compares to the loss of Morgan Moore, who never got his chance to grow up.